Hello students, welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. My name is Mr. Stanley Ombogo. So dear students, allow me to take this opportunity to take you through features of style in songs, that is under oral poetry and songs. So before we get into that, previously we introduced oral poetry by defining oral poetry. We were also able to look at some of the features of oral poetry, and again, not forgetting a performance of oral poetry. And we concluded by looking at classification of oral poetry. That is the subgenres that we have uh, under oral poetry. So in this session, we are going to look at the features of style in songs. So talking about features of style in songs, these are devices, devices that are used uh, in oral poetry to make them more interesting. Sometimes there are those that are used for emphasis, that is to, uh, you know, lay emphasis. Then we can also use them to pass across a message in a unique way. So I'm going to talk about some of these, features of style that we have, beginning with the repetition. So talking about repetition, it functions in the same way as in oral narratives, only that in songs there is usually a lot of repetition for musicality. So repetition is used a lot in songs to create musicality or to create a rhythm. So the second style that we have is direct translations. So songs are rendered in their original language, and they have to be translated into English for other people or other communities to understand. Very thorough translation would lose the real meaning and humor of the song. So a loose translation is normally given to these songs. That is, they are not given a thorough translation because we do not want to lose the meaning. So sometimes the translation is so direct that only those familiar with the original language can grasp the real meaning. Direct translation again ensures that the translation text remains as close as possible to the original text. So it also traces the origin of the song and can be a source of humor. So uh, in most cases, you will find some of these songs directly translated from vernacular to English language. So the next feature of our style that we have in oral poetry is the use of direct address. So most of the songs have a specific target audience. The singer, in most cases, will directly mention the addressee. So the use of direct address creates a dramatic effect, and it implies that the audience is known. So in most cases, if you want to easily identify the use of direct address in oral poetry or songs, they are normally introduced by the second person pronoun you plus the addressee, that is those being addressed. So assuming that I am addressing young people, for example, and I am not, specific, I'm not, specifying the person, then I am allowed to say you young people. So by saying you young people, it means that I am addressing all young people who are listening. So that is how a direct address looks like. So the next feature of our style in oral poetry is the traditional setting. The setting of the song, dear students, in terms of social, cultural traits, may trace directly to traditional practices. You can clearly tell that you are dealing with the practices of a pre-modern society. That is, primitive is a kind of a bad word, but a primitive society. So an example of maybe use of traditional setting in oral poetry is a writer may decide to say that person X want to go to the bush, for he must have eaten some bad food. So when bush is mentioned, that is in that context, it refers to going to the toilet, which is a traditional, which in traditional terms is the bush. So apart from traditional setting as a feature of style in oral poetry, we also have moral judgment. So under normal circumstances, we judge that is individuals' moral conduct, but occasionally a singer backing in the glory of poetic license. So in most cases, we have songs that have moral judgment. Apart from that, there is also uh, use of sometimes elements that cannot be dramatized. So it is said that there is no song without a dance. But as you look sometimes through some of these songs that we have, that is, yes, some of these genres that we have, you realize that uh, some of them have areas that can be rendered only through action. So apart from that, we also have use of extreme characterization. There is use of anonymity. So anonymity is the feature of style that refer to instances where in place of a composer's name, we have the word anonymous, meaning that the composer is not known. An anonymous composition might indicate that the song is a communal property, having been composed and transmitted orally by the community. So even as the singer sings, the message is communally owned, giving it great validity. So there are also styles like euphemism, and talking about euphemism, this is a manner of expression that employs more socially acceptable and less direct language for something that would otherwise have been unpleasant, vulgar, or a taboo. So in nursery schools, for example, children are taught very basic euphemism. Instead of going to the toilet, it is, may I go out? So it is again a use of courteous language. So we also have a moral lesson. They are more or less the same, as a moral judgment. So songs normally, communicate in a didactic manner. So the singer opts to preach his message directly. So where this happens, it is a moral lesson. A singer, for instance, would sing, "Work hard, young men and women, for hard work pays." So that is an example of a moral lesson. So it is also a common feature of oral narratives where the message is put very explicitly. So we also have a use of, a parallelism, that is the use of images to compare or contrast ideas. Apart from that, we also have allusion. So allusion is also a feature of style we have in oral poetry, and it refers to the use of names of people, place, things or events that the listener or reader is automatically assigned to know about or is familiar with. So in choosing the word, the writer or singer makes the basic assumption that its implications are well known. So that is what allusion is. So other features of style, dear students, that we have include imagery. So imagery is a figurative language. It involves use of a language that is visually descriptive. So under imagery, we have styles such as similes, we have, metaphor, and so on. So there is also vivid description. We have quite a number of styles and imagery. So apart from imagery, we have use of ideophones, personifications, giving inanimate, things the qualities of human beings. There is also use of rhetorical questions. Those are questions that do not require response. Then we also have use of irony and sometimes use of proverbs and wise sayings. So, dear students, that brings us to the end of the session. Thank you for keeping it easy, Elimu. Until next time, bye.